Hi, I'm Rachel Bulman.
Hi, I'm Jason Bulman.
And we're the Bulmans!
We're home from the NICU.
This is Benedict.
This is Josephine.
They're really cute. So the whole episode, we're just going to sit here and stare at them. Just kidding.
But you can stare with us. Thanks again for coming to share some time with us. This is a big time for us. It's so special in so many ways. We're finally home from the NICU. I think we were in there for about 10, 11 days before we got home, which is not as much as I'm sure many have suffered, but nevertheless, it's hard. As we mentioned previously, it's hard having half your family in the NICU and then half here, and then never feeling like you're quite all at home and feeling like you're pulled in two places at the same time.
There was one day that I had called Jason and I was kind of, I think I was losing it.
What?
And I just was going in between here and this imaginary pressure that I'd put on myself to somehow be present in both places at one time, which would drive anyone insane. And I called him and you said, I need you to tell me what you want. Like, I need you to tell me what's going on. Like, what are you really thinking? What's really in your heart? Because, we often just kind of get lost in the distractions. And I just told him, I'm not sure. I just know that I want us all to be together. And so then whenever I was praying about it, because leaving the hospital, I remember telling him, like, leaving the hospital was so hard. And it dawned on me that I think my pain in that time was that 2 years before them, we had just lost our fifth child, Carol. We were about 3 months pregnant and had a miscarriage in the middle of the night. And so I had already had that trauma, and it reminded me every time that I would leave the hospital without these two, it would remind me of leaving the hospital without Carol. And I just hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't spent enough time kind of going, okay, like what's really going on beyond this, the thought of just leaving them. There's something else that's kind of happening within my heart that I need to pay attention to. So once I figured that out, it didn't make the burden any lighter, but understanding it helped me. And
helped me too.
Yeah, so we kind of, for you to be able to help me.
Yeah, because you were on my heart so much, and I was thinking, like, I wasn't sure if, I always think it's my fault, I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? I need to spend more time with the babies. I think that's what's going on. But it's always something deeper than that. It's
always something deeper. So we had finally gotten to kind of acceptance of the situation, and then I was home, not trying to pressure myself to get up to the hospital again. So I was at home kind of getting things ready around here, and I got a call, and she was like, "Hey, Rachel, it's the nurse practitioner, Rachel," which was her name. And she said, she goes, "I was just calling because we just rounded and I saw the babies. They look great. Wanted to know if maybe if you're okay with them coming home now." And I was like, yes. Is that a question?
Do some people say no to that? Or
right.
We're not really ready yet.
And I told her, I said, you have the best name and the best news to tell us that we get to bring the babies home. So that was just so, so exciting. The nurse told me that she would call us. And I said, do I need to be there first thing in the morning to do anything? I don't know why. I think I was so excited to get them home. I was telling Jason, I was like, maybe I need to wake up immediately, like at 6 and get up to the hospital. And he's like, no, I think you just need to do what the nurse said.
Because she was like, take your time, come up here.
Yeah, she said, if you need to, if you can come around 1.
Yeah.
If it's sooner, I'll just call you. So she called at like 11 or 10 and said, okay, guys, it's time. We're going to get some stuff from the hospital. Probably get 2 babies.
I'm hoping it's 2.
2 babies. And they're going to come home. We were just talking about the fact that we can't believe that we are the only 2 people that have ever met them. Like they've been in the world for more than a week, and the only two people that have met them, other than the nurses and the doctors.
I know.
Us.
It's time for a family.
I don't know if the world is ready. So we ended up going up there, and what's really interesting is that it was a lot different than the anticipation. Obviously, because we haven't been in a NICU before, but emotionally it was a little different.
I was just we relive all the times we've done this before, because we've done this 4 other times, you know, and what was so beautiful about it this time was there's so many like fears and insecurities about bringing your child home finally. Even like the act of getting the child, bringing them into the car, it's like this new reality really starts to become. Yeah, you kind of want to
turn to the guard or the nurse, whoever's taking the car, and be like, "Are you sure you want to, like,
can we
give
really
me a person? I'm not sure you should give me a person."
Right.
And you think, but there's joy now. It's not fearful anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, this one was just like
the fact that there was so much joy was just the anticipation of, you know. I think that and I think that was a gift of the NICU in that time apart from them, was that
for sure
we were able to kind of temper whatever fear we might have had, especially with twins, and replaced it with joy. And you know, our friends have been so awesome during all of this. We've gotten great meals cooked for us, which has been so awesome, and random gifts showing up in places.
Oh my goodness.
I know. They have these wheelchairs that have a giant wagon built into them. So it's like a big contraption where like the mom sits on the front, and then all the stuff from you staying overnight, and from a lot of times they give you everything that's in the room. So like if you've had to open a pack of diapers at the hospital, they gave you the pack of diapers, or if there's wipes or something like that you use while you're at the hospital, they give you all of that. So there's a lot of stuff to take home other than just the mom and the baby. So before this time, I've watched all these moms leaving, you know, and so just the anticipation of being able to sit in that chair, which is literally not the cutest chair on the planet, or even the most comfortable, but I just really wanted to have my time in the chair.
It's like a throne.
It is. And so seeing the moms leave and congratulating them and was all beautiful, but I'm like, man, I'd really like to be in that chair. I sat down and she placed both of them on my lap, you know, and it was just, it's almost like the clouds parted and the angels appeared and sang a song.
But yeah, the nurses were really great. They let me go out and get the car, and they wheeled Rachel down. So I'm like in the cul-de-sac area where you can come in. And here comes Rachel with the babies. And putting them in the baby seat was just so final, you know, like they finally have gotten.
They get to come home.
They get to come home. All the children weren't here yet, so just the girls got to see them first. And
which is actually really beautiful when you think about it. Because the girls, there were so many things that happened, I think, for their hearts during this time of watching me be pregnant. Gemma is older now. The last time that she saw me pregnant, she was only 2. So now she's 7.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one night out of all of it that was really beautiful. Had her and her sister in the tub. I was super pregnant, and I'm struggling and tired and really pregnant, and I'm like bending over with my belly trying to like get around the tub to get everything. And in the midst of all of my suffering and being uncomfortable and I'm sure very uncharitable, she goes, "Mommy, I can't wait to be pregnant one day because you're so beautiful." It's just like, okay.
Sort of awakening that nurturing.
Thanks for calling me back into the reality that matters.
Yeah.
And so they were so beside themselves.
Yeah, little Abigail. I mean, her jaw just dropped when she finally got to see her brother and sister.
It literally was probably the funniest thing.
She was frozen in shock. It was so beautiful. And then Gemma too. And they just couldn't wait to hold him.
And then when the boys came in, it was just the boys just kept saying, they're so little, they're so little, but they were so excited to hold them. And it's been so great kind of watching them step into their own fatherhood, you know, even though they're all very small and very young. We're forming them now because we firmly believe that every person is called into some mode of parenthood. You know, even priests are fathers, and religious sisters are mothers, even though they may not be physically. Their hearts become fathers' hearts, and their hearts become mothers' hearts. And so however that manifests for our own children, it's really beautiful to kind of watch them grow in their understanding of just the little glimpses of fatherhood and motherhood that they get to experience as big brothers and big sisters.
And you know, I was waiting for that moment when we were all finally here in the same room together, and it happened. You know, the TV was on, and you know, after all of the initial excitement of the babies coming home, you know, one baby I think was in one kid's arm, the other in the other, and I just sat back and
took it all in.
Yeah, because here's the thing, you know, every time you have a kid, it feels like, okay, you know, now we feel complete. You know, now we you know, this was always meant to be. And then you get pregnant, and you're thinking, I mean, number one, can we love this kid as much as we love our other kids? There's all the, you know, fears and anxieties that can come initially. But, you know, as soon as that next kid comes home and you're at home, you're like, gosh, now we're complete. You know, we thought we were complete before,
Right.
but now we're complete.
When another child comes along, you somehow expand and then feel complete again. And it's just really interesting how you can go from being complete and whole, but still feeling this ability, this capacity to expand is really beautiful. And Jason and I were talking about that, and the fact that that's what love is.
Yeah.
Like, you think to yourself, like, I can never love like this. I can never love to this capacity again. But the greatness of love is that when you give it away, it expands itself. And God is the same way. He's never exhausting. The love that he has for us is never exhausted. It's always expanding. It's always enveloping something that seems even more complete, but is never complete because he is who he is. And it's really beautiful to know that we are a glimpse of that. And you kind of look at these faces, and, you know, we jokingly said we were just going to spend the whole episode looking at the baby's faces. But even just looking at the face of an infant is a glimpse of that love. It's a glimpse of eternity, a glimpse of the life that we're made for, which is something that's divine, something that's unreachable, but something that we never want to stop reaching for. And it's amazing.
It is. And I don't know, I think you would agree that, you know, the more and more that you go about this love business, you know, giving your life away for other people, in our case, and as married people with our kids, it matures as it expands. You know, it's almost like you get a higher glimpse of the whole picture. You know, because at first it's like pretty honed in with your first child, and you're trying to figure things out, and then you know, with the second child, and this is just in our case, you don't have to have children to experience this, but just in my own experience, you know, God proves to you over and over again with each child, like, nope, there's no end to it. Like, it's not like, well, you get this certain amount of love and after that you can't give anymore. It just keeps going and going. And our kids are experiencing it too, because, I mean, our oldest, I think it has matured him and all of them as we have more children, and to recognize, like, actually life is better when it's not about you. It's better when it's like all of us. I sacrifice what I want for my family. That has got to be a reflection, a little experience of God's love, who, you know, loves all things completely at all times and knows all things. So
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
So thanks for being here. Thanks for meeting these little people and coming back every week and spending some time with us, because I'm sure that the thought is now like, well, the babies are here. We've met all the Bulmans. But we're just getting started.
It's true.
This is just the beginning of whatever the adventure that lies before us, and we hope that you'll keep coming back, because we still have some settling to do. See? Even Benedict says so. There's still more growth to be had, and there's still more adventures to be had as they settle in with us and the kids kind of figure out their rhythms, which we're really all figuring it out together. And we hope that you'll keep coming back and come back to our home next week.
Yes, I agree. Please come back, share in this joy with us, and pray for us.
We're praying for you.
Pray for you. God bless.